Garling and the remaining Davy family members who have turned into demons fight against Rox, but are all defeated. So we're going over the full summary here, and we had already talked about that in the previous spoilers that we got. Let me also point out that the summary we're going over here is like kind of out of whack. I think it might just be an error on the part of Pew or whoever supplied this to him, and it's not like a big deal. It's just that we're going to be going forward and backwards in time, so it's a little all over the place, but that doesn't change the fact that this chapter is truly incredible. But we're seeing that Rox, just by himself, is defeating all of the Davy family members that have been turned into demons via Domi Reversi from Emu, who shows up to God Valley through Saturn, as we're going to find out, and Garling at the same time. And the way that it's just brushed over here makes me think that this is like just one panel of Rox just going, blah, and then they're all just wiped out. And yeah, Garling is defeated by Rox with the help of Domi Reversi demons from the Davy clan, so they're, I guess, stronger than just regular people. Garp and Roger are shocked by Emu's appearance and overwhelming Haki in God Valley. Garp is furious and horrified by the number of civilian deaths on the island. He even calls Sengoku, questioning if he knows what's really happening there. So we talked about this yesterday. I'm not going to go into Garp's morality and him as a character because I actually talked about that in my video that I put up yesterday. You'll see it on the channel, but we are seeing that Garp essentially knew that Emu existed this whole time. I mean, maybe based off of this, he doesn't literally know that like Emu is like the secret ruler of the world and is the cause of all this oppression and everything, but he knows that Emu exists because he can clearly feel that otherworldly Haki. Yes, Emu is going through Saturn here, so maybe Garp doesn't fully understand what's happening, but he knows that there's something crazy going on here. He knows that at least the Gorosei are just otherworldly, insanely powerful, like to the point of where he knows that there's nothing he can do to stop them, because that's the conclusion that Rox essentially came to. And we're also seeing that Garp is finally finding out that the hunting game was taking place here. There's a bunch of dead civilians, and he's straight up calling Sengoku on the spot and asking him like, hey, there's a bunch of dead people here and it seems like celestial dragons killed them. Do you know what's going on with this? And we'll get more into that because it's brought up again here. Like I said, this full summary is kind of all over the place, Pulp Fiction style. Rock's attacks cause the enemy's regeneration to slow down. This is seen on Garling, similar to how Gaban's attacks affected Summers before. So this is no surprise. If there's anybody that has the highest level of Conqueror's Haki or just Haki in general, it's definitely Rox, outside of like Joy Boy and I don't know, other people from the Void Century. I'm sure once we get to that flashback, they're all going to be gods of Haki. Like they're going to have every single highest tier that is possible. So yeah, for sure, he's going to be bypassing the regeneration hack that Emu puts onto the Holy Knights of the Gorosei. Garp questions the truth behind what's happening. Includes Sengoku's response, someone once raised this same doubt before, but later disappeared from the Navy. Whoa, fascinating. Didn't know this before. So apparently someone else that Garp was working with found out that there was nefarious things going on with the world government and the celestial dragons, and once they found out, they straight up left the Navy. It's not Dragon, because Dragon's literally doing this in God Valley. This implies that there's another character out there that maybe or maybe not we know about, who was a part of the Navy and left it after he found out what was going on, which goes back to what I was saying, what Garp should have did. And also, Sengoku wasn't at God Valley, but at least he got a phone call while it was happening. I guess that's better than nothing, because he does know essentially what happened, and he still chose to stay with the Marines too. Like, he double knew what was going on and how the celestial dragons are awful, but he is just like, yeah, I'm still gonna be a Marine anyway. Rox saves and helps Eris and Teach escape. Rox escapes while carrying his wife and child, being pursued by Garling and a group of Davy family members, turned into demons, including his father and grandmother. Wow, we didn't know that. So family, immediate family was still alive, and they're straight up being turned into demons by Emu's Domi Reversi here. I don't know if he's killing them, but he's defeating them at least, and it's like, I mean, I guess at that point you kind of have to. Because Rox isn't like, you know, the typical shonen MC where he's going to be like, oh no, I'm struggling. No, Rock's anti-hero through and through, but like, he's saving his wife and kids from freaking demons. Like, he knows what has to be done, and I love it. But first, let's talk about our favorite Japanese artisan snack box, and that's Sakurako. Because this month's box is Nico's Autumn Splendor. And this box is packed with thoughtfully curated snacks capturing the vibrant flavors and quiet reflections of this season from Nico, which is nestled in the mountains of the Tochigi Prefecture. Sakurako boxes also come with a tableware item, and this month it's the Neko Furoshiki. So first I tried the Autumn Sencha tea that pairs with everything in the box. This has a really nice well-rounded flavor with a soothing aroma, which pairs perfectly with these chestnut Shiroko Sando biscuits, which have Anko red bean paste mixed in the middle. And they're amazing on their own, but when I add them to this tea, it just goes to the next level. Then I tried these Momuji Manju, which as you can see has this really nice soft cake texture with a really smooth Atsuki red bean paste inside. So we all know who Katakuri is, and that he has the Mochi Mochi no Mi devil fruit. Well, this is what his devil fruit power is, and it's pretty tasty. You're gonna have to try this for yourself because the texture is something like Jello from space, I suppose. So guys, you can get your very own Sakurako box by checking the link in the description, and make sure you use code Zhoniin for $5 off your first box. Thanks guys. In the end, Rox defeats them all, and Garling collapses, coughing blood. So yeah, Rox defeats Garling along with the other demons in this chapter, which is incredible, but also it kind of deflates Garling, right? Like I said this before, he's built up to be the penultimate bad guy of the series. At least in my opinion, it seems that way so far. There could be a whole bunch of new ultra powerful characters that are stronger than the Gorosei that just come out of nowhere 100 chapters later from now. That stuff always happens, and it very likely could. But right now at this point in time, at least by my metric, it seems like Garling is that guy. This was 40 years ago, 38 years ago, whatever. Garling was still young, so he's very likely not as powerful as he is now. I mean, just look at, the way that Big Mom, Kaido, and all of them are. They clearly are not as strong as they are now, or were, before they died. So I think the same thing probably goes with Garland. But still, it deflates him because we are seeing him being defeated. So it's like, what are the stakes going forward? We as the reader are just supposed to be like, oh, Garland's stronger in the future, so he'll, he's not going to lose again, or he'll be a threat. And I don't think everybody's going to draw that conclusion. Same thing with Summers. Like Summers and just the Holy Knights in general, they're all being built up as like final opponents for a lot of characters in this series. And now that they've already been defeated, it's like, why are we supposed to be excited? Big Mom is struck down by Kaido's ambush. Kaido steals and eats the devil fruit. So yeah, we found this out in the previous spoilers as well. But we didn't know that Kaido like ambushed Big Mom. I guess he's like straight up attacking her or whatever, which I guess goes into what Sengoku was talking about, how they were all fighting each other and whatnot. I mean, this is just how they are. And it's not like Big Mom really needed that devil fruit anyway. She was going to give it to Katakuri, turns out. But Kaido was obsessed with the devil fruits, as we saw. And let me also point out that like when I talk about Kaido saying, oh, hockey transcends all, that's the only thing that matters. It's like, I'm just joking. Like, I understand that he is coming to that conclusion 40 years after this. So obviously he's learned that him being obsessed with devil fruits was wrong, and that it turns out that hockey transcends all, because it does. Clearly he's finding out that the only way to defeat Imu, the Gorosei, and the Holy Knights is to use hockey. It doesn't matter how strong your devil fruit is, you're never going to get past their hack demon powers. I'll talk more about this in the review for the actual chapter, but I just want to put it out there. It doesn't change that Kaido is an idiot. He's always going to be an idiot, but he did at least learn something. Saturn is seen observing from the mountain, seemingly communicating with Imu. Ivankov and Kuma both appear this chapter. Some scenes are flashbacks from chapter 1096. Others are new. Kuma uses his powers to heal many injured civilians. So that's cool. Kuma doing what he should with his paw fruit abilities, healing some people, and we know that he's eventually going to go on to save 500 people here by teleporting them away. At least it's implied that he does. Imu appears, possessing Saturn's demon form again. Still mostly shown as a black silhouette with only the eyes clearly visible. Imu does not speak this chapter. So Imu is here Once again, we saw that they, of course, inhabited Gunko's body, currently right now in the story, once we come back to Elbaf, but now inhabiting Saturn. So I guess this implies that anyone who receives powers from Emu can be used as a vessel for them. And also, I said this before, I think this means that Emu, like, can't leave Mary Joie, because, like, we know that the Gorosei and the Holy Knights can. They could do the demonic portal teleportation thing. So why doesn't Emu themselves do that? Well, I mean, they probably can't leave because of something that happened to them. Maybe it has to do with Joy Boy, maybe it has to do with them receiving the devil powers that they did, but it seems likely, and I think that would be a cool twist. When Rock says that siding with him brings no benefit, Whitebeard and Dragonform Kaido laugh and fight alongside him anyway. Wow, man. This almost brings a tear to my eyes with how epic this is. I want to go more into just this sequence tomorrow or Friday or whatever, and I also want to talk about Oda, him writing this sequence. But man, this has easily one of the best moments in the series. Across nearly 1,200 chapters, this right now is one of the best. Top 5 for sure. Rocks, first of all, saying like, look guys, this is essentially an unbeatable opponent, but I'm still going to fight them anyway. So you guys are free to leave. I'm not going to think you're cowards or anything. And Whitebeard and Kaido, especially Kaido. This is expected of Whitebeard for sure, but Kaido, they both are like, that's fine, bro. Let's do it. Oh man, this hits me right in my man's soul. I love it. The chapter ends with Rocks looking at Emu and saying, "This is the world itself." Epic line. Of course, it's a very layered statement. You're going to see a lot of people probably trying to break this down with mythology and reading between the lines and the kanji and the katakana and all that stuff, and that's fine. It's expected. But in my opinion, I think Rocks is just essentially saying that, like, the world is the way that it is right now because of this person. They are solely responsible for why everything sucks. The red line, the grand line, the tides, the ocean, the islands, everything is because of Emu. So therefore, they are the world itself. And of course, Oda is going for this whole solar system analogy thing with Luffy being the sun, Emu being the earth, the Gorosei being the planets, along with the ancient weapons. Also, there's like another thing that I want to go more in detail about once we actually get the full chapter and I'm able to review that, about what I think happens to Rocks here and why Garp and Roger may actually team up to fight and defeat him. I just hope it doesn't happen. I talked about it in my review for the Garp stuff yesterday if you wanted to check that out, but I'll go more into detail about that tomorrow. And also another theory that's going around about Garling maybe intentionally being a weakling here because he might not be the leader of the Holy Knights at this point in time. It might be somebody else. Maybe somebody that we already know. Also guys, if you like this video, if you like my content in general, please hit the like button. If it's on your phone, all you gotta do is boom with your thumb or with your index finger, however you like doing it. Because that will show YouTube that you appreciate this content and that it will be sent out to more people to view it. And yes, that will help the channel grow. It'll help the community grow. We'll have more people to talk to in the comments, more people to get confirmation biased with, more people to argue with, more people to find new ideas and views on the story that maybe you didn't see before. Maybe you can even make new friends in the comments. All you gotta do is just like the video. Subscribing would be really cool too. We're almost at 300,000. That's crazy. I know it's not really that impressive nowadays, but still, that's a lot of subscribers, right? Not all of them are active, but quite a few of you guys still are. The main goal is 1 million, and we'll get there eventually. I know you're probably scoffing at that. You'll never get 1 million, Zhoniin, you're an idiot. Maybe that's true, but we can at least try. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and we're gonna go over this yet again once we get the full chapter in the next 2 days. So I'm gonna be covering that as soon as it comes out. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you in the next one.